In this video, I'm going to run through some of the fundamentals you should know before your first ride. This is by no means a replacement to reading the operator's guide. However, please do watch this video and reference it, pause it as you wish. So, the first thing you'll need is a fully charged battery. Pop that in there, make sure the lid is on and secure. Then, the Mako engine is a two-stroke. That means that you need to mix your petrol and your oil. Here I have 5 litres of petrol and I need two-stroke oil. On the bottle it will always have a 2T label, and the finer detail will be a rating which is JSO, FD or FC. That's really important because that means that it's of a certain standard which suits this engine. So it's a two-stroke oil that you need. For 5 litres of petrol, you need 100 millilitres of oil. So once you've mixed your fuel and oil, simply undo this cap here and fill the fuel tank. This can design is really good for the Mako, and you can buy these cans on our website. So having just refueled, I'll just quickly run through the functions of the hand control. So this is your engine shut-off pin. When you fall off and this comes out, the engine stops. You pop that into the rubber socket on the base of the hand control and you put this around your wrist. You must make sure it's always around your wrist while you're riding. Then here you have the start-stop button. This goes under your thumb and the trigger is the throttle. So to increase acceleration, you squeeze the throttle. Now, anytime you're trying to start the engine, whilst pressing the start button, you must make sure you have the throttle squeezed. Once the engine starts, you release the start button and you bring the RPM down so that the engine is not screaming, especially when you're out the water. So, I've refueled. I now need to assess whether to prime the engine. And what I'm going to do is just quickly try and start the engine without priming. That way I ensure that I don't over prime it and flood the engine. So here we go, just a quick test to see if it will start without priming. Okay, so it started up straight away. I don't need to prime it. Whilst you're out the water, it's important that you don't run the engine for too long because there's no water going through the engine keeping it cool. So just to quickly show you, if it didn't start and it does need priming, what I would do is place my hand over the air intake and that would cause a vacuum. Then you'll be watching the fuel come along the fuel pipe. When it reaches the carburetor, you release your hand and now you're allowing air in, so you've got your fuel and your air whilst pressing the starter button and the engine should fire up. That's how you prime the engine. Okay, so having refueled, it's time to pop the lid on. There are 3 pop catches on the lid. Make sure all 3 have popped and the lid is securely on. Then I'm going to check to see if the foot straps are adjusted correctly for me. I ride in a goofy style, so my right foot goes under this one. That's absolutely fine for me. And my left foot goes under this one, and that's absolutely fine for me. So the next thing to do is put the fins on. And for that, you will need the 2 side fins, the center fin, and a 3mm Allen key. With the side fins, they are an aerofoil shape. The curved side of the aerofoil shape should face the rail of the board. So the curved side is on the outside. Locate the leading edge of the fin and then pop down the trailing edge, and now that's locked in. Locate the leading edge, pop down the trailing edge. Same with the rear fin, only you've got a pin that you need to locate in that groove. And the 3mm Allen key comes in to do up a grub screw near the trailing edge of the fin. That just locks it off and makes sure it's 100% secure. So once you've done that, we're ready to go to the water. So just to recap quickly, mix the fuel and oil, refueled, prime the engine, set the foot straps, put the fins on, everything is watertight. We're going to get down to the water and I'm going to run through the 3 phases that we recommend you try for your first ride. And that will start off on your belly in the water, riding around on your belly, learning the throttle control, turning, understanding how to start and stop the engine. Phase 2 will be on your knees. So it's belly to knees. Again, understanding throttle control, turning, starting, stopping. And then phase 3 is transition belly, knees to standing. And I'll run through that with you on the water. So let's go. While you're learning, it's really important that you come in and drain the board regularly. We say in the first stages of learning every 3 minutes. And this is because you spend a lot of time submerging the board and inevitably the snorkel will go underwater. And now that means water's going inside the hull. So what you need to do every 3 minutes is just come back and quickly drain the board. Pick it up, put it on its nose, and you can let the water drain out, like so. And that should ensure that you don't have any issues with water going into the engine. So now I'll get out into the water and show you how to brace the board whilst you start the engine. So I just got back off the water after doing the demonstrations. I actually went out for about another half an hour and it was really good fun. But just to quickly run through, now I'm back at the car park. I've been using this board on the sea, so it's covered in salt water. I can't wash it off here. So I'm going to put it in the bag, chuck it in the van, and then when I get home, I'm going to go through the flushing procedure and make sure all the salt water's gone, flush the engine and spray some oil on it and make sure that no corrosion takes place while it's in storage. You can check that out in the operator's guide and there will be another video explaining that. But for now, I'm going to make sure the engine shut-off pin is not in the hand control. I'm going to whip the fins off. I need my 3mm Allen key. Undo the screw that holds the main fin. Slide that out. Push up on the trailing edge of the fins and they pop out. Once you've done that, grab the board, slide it into the bag, then just pop the lid off so that in transport it can breathe. Then I get my tool bag, pop my fins in, so what I've been through in this video are just pointers to get you started. Don't forget, you can find way more detail in the operator's guide and other videos on the website.